I suggest you do not because it's very disgusting. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hayley and I use this channel to talk about my transition into a zero waste, low waste lifestyle and a more natural, less consumeristic lifestyle. So if that's of interest to you, please subscribe below and join me on this journey as well. I would love to have you along. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the differences between the tampon and the menstrual cup. If you saw my video previously about my first cycle using my menstrual cup, that will show you all the tips on how to use it. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about the environmental impacts, differences, as well as use and actual usage of using them. So let's get straight into it. So the average menstruator will use about 11,000 disposable tampon or pad products within their lifetime of them menstruating, which obviously is a lot that gets sent to the landfill every single year. The obvious problem with the tampon is usually the plastic covering that comes with the tampon. This one is from Lidl and has paper instead of plastic, so that's a plus. However, the applicator inside is also made of plastic and that just gets thrown away and cannot be recycled. I actually think this one has cardboard in, but a lot of them do have plastic, cardboard. This cardboard will actually be lined with plastic, so even though the main bulk of it is cardboard, there is plastic lining and so therefore will not be recyclable. The tampon itself is usually made from cotton, which uses an excessive amount of water, which obviously is not a good thing. The cotton itself is then probably dipped in chemicals such as bleach to make sure it doesn't have any antifungal or bacteria growth going on it. When these tampons are then thrown in the landfill, these chemicals get sucked into the earth and then pollutes the water, groundwater and seas. This pollution onto the landfill actually causes 5.3 kilos of carbon emissions each year, which obviously is something we're trying to reduce. The applicators as well usually take around 500 years to decompose, so that is a lot of applicators that are left on the landfills and on our planet that we would not like to be there. And if you're in the UK, you may have heard something called the fatberg, which is a mass that was found in the sewers in London, caused from sanitary pads and sanitary products as well as other things and feces going down into your toilet. So you should never ever flush these types of products because that is what will result in which you do not want. And if you Google images, I suggest you do not because it's very disgusting. And that is a result of you flushing stuff down the toilet. If you've also watched my video about coming off the pill, you'll know that I recently came off the pill after 11 years. Before that, I used tampons and pads, mainly tampons, and I used to flush them down the toilet. I did not actually know that this was a bad thing. So when I came off the pill, I went to put my tampon down the toilet like I always did, and then I realised actually I'm not supposed to do that anymore. So I think it's more about educating yourself on what you are and are not allowed to do. So because when I was a teenager, I didn't know the effects of this, so I obviously do now. I don't use tampons or pads anymore. I use my menstrual cup, which I'll tell you why later on. So it's just something to be aware of if you are using tampons or pads. If you are using a tampon, you should try and get a organic cotton tampon. These are not dipped in bleach or any other chemicals, so they don't leave chemicals or pollute the groundwater like normal tampons do. However, the cotton industry still uses an excessive amount of water, and still is not a great process, but is a lot better than normal tampons. So if you're just starting out and you're a bit scared of the menstrual cup, organic tampons and organic pads are the way forward for you. There are also reusable pads that you can get, and you can also get reusable applicators, so you can just get the cotton tampon and then get the reusable applicator to push it up, which I know some people found really useful. So let's then move on to the menstrual cup. So if you looked at that video that I did previously, it will show you all the good things about this and how great I think it is. But on environmental perspective is this is made out of silicone, which is made from silica, which is a natural mineral found on the earth. It's not anything that we dig up, it's something that's sustainable and reusable. Silicone is actually naturally antibacterial, so you're protected on that front as well. And these guys last up for about 10 years. So obviously that is a bulk of your time menstruating. The average woman menstruates from being a teenager to around the 40s, so that is 30 years. So only 3 of these menstrual cups technically can be used during your whole period of menstruating, which is obviously a lot less than your 110,000 tampons or pads. There are some cons to the menstrual cup though that I did not address in my previous video, and that is mainly the recycling of it. So even though that they do last 10 years, at the end of the 10 years, what do you do with them? So the natural thing would be to recycle them, which you can recycle, but they're not easily recyclable. So if you want to recycle your menstrual cup, you have to go to a specialist recycling centre, and then those companies recycle it for you. It doesn't also really readily biodegrade very easily, so that's also not a great aspect of it. However, when it doesn't biodegrade, it just sits there and it doesn't really do anything for it. Whereas if you have a tampon or a pad that is in landfill that cannot biodegrade, then they are emitting chemicals into the groundwater, the earth, the air. Whereas this guy just sits there just not doing anything. So even though it's not great, it doesn't really biodegrade, it doesn't cause that negative impact whilst it's just sat there like the tampons and pads do. So overall, obviously the menstrual cup is much better than the tampon or pads. It's really up to you whether you want to do it, because I know that the ease of use is a real impact onto your decision of what product to use. The menstrual cup I found very easy to use. It takes about 10 minutes to figure out how to do it. But with the tampon, it also took me some time to figure out how to put it in. And it's the same as using a tampon without the applicator, because it's the same process really, but it's really you learning how you want to deal with your periods. I would obviously recommend the menstrual cup. I think it's awesome for so many reasons that I've just gone through, and also in my previous video. But on this video I just wanted to do a quick little explanation really of why I decided to go with a menstrual cup and why I decided to ditch the tampons and pads. You may be thinking, why do I have a tampon when I said I don't use tampons? And that is because I had them left over for when I bought the cup, and I will be donating these to local organisations for free period products for people who need them. Because at the end of the day, if you use a tampon here and there, if you use a pad here and there, it's not the end of the world. It's just trying to be conscious of your decisions and trying to make the best decision you can make. If you can't afford the menstrual cup because they're about 20 quid, then there's no shame in that, and it's just you being aware of the impact of these things and doing the best that you can do. If you can't afford a menstrual cup, then keep using tampons. You shouldn't be ashamed of having to use them if that's the best that you can do. So this video really was just to explain the impact on the environment for choosing either a menstrual cup or a tampon. So that's it for this video, just hopefully short and sweet, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up below and comment below and let me know what menstrual products you use and whether you have any eco guilt coming with that, because you definitely shouldn't, and I would love to know. Please subscribe and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.